Hello, and welcome. What if I told you that the most common, most boring topic in the world is secretly your most powerful tool for mastering English? It's true. Forget complicated grammar rules for a moment. Forget memorizing long lists of words you'll never use. Today, we are going to unlock the simple, universal language of the weather. And by the end of our time together, you will not just understand how to talk about the weather, you will feel confident doing it. You will be able to start a conversation with anyone, anywhere, at any time. My name is Alex, and I will be your guide on this journey. I know how it feels to have 1,000 words in your head but not know which one to use first. The weather is your perfect starting point. It's a shared experience. The person standing next to you at the bus stop is experiencing the same sun, the same rain, the same wind. Talking about it is the easiest way to make a connection. So, let's begin with the most important question in our entire lesson today. This is the key that opens the door. The question is, what's the weather like? Let's say that again, together. What's the weather like? You can also ask, how's the weather? It means the exact same thing. How's is just a contraction, a shorter way of saying how is. In spoken English, we love to use contractions. They make us sound more natural, more fluent. So, try it. How's the weather? Now, how do you answer this simple question? The answer is just as simple. You start with two magic words, it is. Or, even better, you can use the contraction, it's. It's. That's it. That's the beginning of almost every weather description you will ever need to give. Let's learn the 5 most basic, most essential weather words. These are your foundation. The first word is sunny. S-U-N-N-Y. When you look outside and see the big, bright sun in the sky, with very few clouds, the weather is sunny. So, if someone asks you, what's the weather like, you can say, it's sunny. Simple, right? Let's practice. I ask you, how's the weather today? You say, it's sunny. Fantastic. The second word is cloudy. C-L-O-U-D-Y. A cloud is one of those white or gray shapes in the sky. When there are many clouds, the weather is cloudy. The sun might be hiding behind them. So, if you look outside and see a sky full of clouds, what do you say? It's cloudy. Let's try it. What's the weather like? It's cloudy. Perfect. You're already doing great. The third word is rainy. R-A-I-N-Y. This is when water is falling from the sky. Little drops of water. We call this rain. So, if you need an umbrella to go outside, the weather is rainy. I ask you, how's the weather? You answer, it's rainy. Excellent. Our fourth word is windy. W-I-N-D-Y. The wind is moving air. You can't see it, but you can feel it. It blows the leaves on the trees. It might blow your hat off your head. When the air is moving a lot, it's windy. So, what's the weather like? It's windy. And our fifth and final foundational word for now is snowy. S-N-O-W-Y. In some places, when it gets very cold, water falls from the sky as soft, white snowflakes. This is snow. The weather is snowy. So, if you look outside and everything is white, what's the weather like? It's snowy. Sunny, cloudy, rainy, windy, snowy. These 5 words are your starting point for everything. But this is just the beginning. What if it's a little sunny and a little cloudy? What if the rain is very light or very heavy? In our next section, we will learn how to add more detail, more color, and more confidence to your descriptions. Now, let's build on that foundation. Let's add some detail to make your English sound even more natural and precise. Real life is often not simple. It's not always 100% sunny or 100% cloudy. Often, it's something in between. Let's imagine you look at the sky. You see the sun, but you also see some clouds. It's a mix. For this, we have a perfect and very common phrase, partly cloudy. Partly. Partly. It means not completely. So, it's partly cloudy. It's a beautiful phrase. It paints a clear picture. Let's practice. Someone asks you, "How's the weather?" You look up, see some sun and some clouds, and you say, "It's partly cloudy." Try it. It's partly cloudy. Excellent. This is much more descriptive than just sunny or cloudy. Now, what if the weather is just a small amount of something? For this, we can use the words a little or a bit. They mean the same thing, a small amount. A bit is very common in conversational English. For example, imagine the rain is not heavy. It's just small, light drops. You might not even need an umbrella. You can say, "It's a little rainy," or "It's a bit rainy." Let's practice that. It's a little rainy. What about the wind? If the leaves on the trees are moving, but not too much, you can say, "It's a little windy," or "It's a bit windy." This tells the listener that yes, there is wind, but it is not strong. Now, what about the opposite? What if the weather is a large amount of something? For this, we use the powerful word very. Very. You probably already know this word, but let's see how it works with our weather vocabulary. If the sun is incredibly bright and you need sunglasses and a hat, you can say, "It's very sunny." If the rain is coming down hard, making a lot of noise, you say, "It's very rainy." This is much stronger than just rainy. It communicates a sense of urgency. You definitely need an umbrella for weather that is very rainy. If the wind is blowing so hard that it's difficult to walk, you say, "It's very windy." And if the snow is falling fast and thick, and you can't see very far, you say, "It's very snowy." So now you have a new set of tools. You have partly cloudy for the in-between weather. You have a little or a bit for a small amount. And you have very for a large amount. Let's do a quick review. A sky with sun and clouds, it's partly cloudy. Light rain, it's a little rainy. A strong wind, it's very windy. You see how these small words add so much meaning? You are now painting a much clearer picture with your words. Now you can describe what the weather is doing. But what about how it feels? Is it hot? Is it cold? That is the other half of the weather conversation. And that's exactly what we're going to master in our next section, talking about temperature. When you describe the weather, you are not just talking about what you see, but also about what you feel. Let's talk about temperature. Just like before, we will start with the most important, most common words. Think of temperature on a scale, from high to low. At the very top of the scale, we have hot. Hot, hot is for a summer day at the beach. The sun is strong, you are sweating, and you want to find some shade or air conditioning. When the temperature is very high, we say, "It's hot." Or, for emphasis, "It's very hot today." Let's go down the scale a little. The next word is warm. Warm is a pleasant, comfortable temperature. It's not hot, but it's definitely not cold. You can wear a t-shirt outside and feel perfect. A nice spring day is often warm. So you can say, "It's warm outside." Let's continue down the scale. Our next word is cool. Cool is a little bit cold, but often in a nice, refreshing way. On a cool day, you might want to wear a light jacket or a sweater. The evenings in autumn are often cool. It's a lovely word. It's getting cool this evening. Finally, at the bottom of our scale, we have cold. Cold is when the temperature is low and uncomfortable. You need a big, heavy coat, a scarf, and maybe gloves. Winter days are often cold. You can say, "It's cold today." Or if it's very, very cold, you can say, "It's freezing." Freezing means the temperature is at or below the point where water turns to ice. So, we have hot, warm, cool, and cold. Now, the real magic happens when we combine these temperature words with the weather words we already know. This is how you start to sound truly fluent. You can say, "It's sunny and hot." This paints a perfect picture of a summer day. But you can also say, "It's sunny and cold." This describes a clear winter day when the sun is out, but it gives no warmth. We can use the word but to connect two different ideas. It's sunny, but it's cold. What about a rainy day? It could be rainy and warm, which happens in some tropical places. Or it could be rainy and cool, a typical autumn day. Or it could be rainy and cold, which is a very miserable combination. Let's practice. How would you describe a day with a lot of clouds and a low temperature? You would say, "It's cloudy and cold." How about a day with a gentle wind and a comfortable, pleasant temperature? You could say, "It's a little windy and warm." You see? You are now combining ideas. This is fantastic. You are no longer just saying one thing about the weather, you are having a real conversation about it. You can now say, "It's rainy and cold." But what about that feeling when the air itself feels wet, even if it's not raining? Or when you wake up and the grass is covered in a thin layer of ice? There are special words for these conditions, and we will learn them in the very next section. We have covered what the weather looks like and what it feels like in terms of temperature. Now, let's add another layer of detail. Let's learn the words for special weather conditions that make you sound like a true native speaker. First, let's talk about the feeling of the air itself. Sometimes, on a hot day, the air feels thick and wet. You feel sticky. This feeling is caused by water in the air. The word for this is humid. Humid. A very common phrase you will hear is, "It's hot and humid." This describes a classic, uncomfortable summer day. The opposite of humid is dry. Dry. A desert, for example, is hot and dry. Next, let's talk about things that make it difficult to see. Have you ever seen a cloud that is on the ground? We call that fog. Fog can be very thick. When it's foggy, it is dangerous to drive because you cannot see far in front of you. You would say, "It's foggy this morning." A lighter version of fog is called mist. Mist is made of very fine, small water droplets in the air. You can usually see through mist better than fog. You might see mist over a lake or in the mountains in the early morning. Now for some cold weather words. On a very cold morning, you might wake up and see that the grass and the windows of cars are covered in a thin, white layer of ice. This is called frost. Frost. You can say, "There is frost on the ground." When water freezes, it becomes icy. Icy. If the roads are covered in ice, we say the roads are icy. Icy. This is an important word. Be careful when you drive, the roads are icy. Let's also learn some more specific words for rain. It's not always just rainy. If the rain is very, very light, with tiny drops, we call it drizzle. Drizzle. For this, we often use the verb form, "it's drizzling." This means you probably won't get very wet. Sometimes, it rains for a short period of time, maybe 10 or 20 minutes, and then it stops and the sun comes out. This short period of rain is called a shower. Shower. You can say, "We had a few showers this afternoon." When the rain is extremely heavy and intense, you can call it a downpour. Downpour, we got caught in a downpour and now we are completely wet. Finally, let's talk about storms. A storm with lightning and thunder is called a thunderstorm. Lightning is the bright flash of light in the sky. Thunder is the loud booming sound you hear after the light. You can say, "There's a thunderstorm approaching." Or you can use the verb for the sound, "it's thundering." You are now able to describe the weather happening right now in incredible detail. You can say, "It's a cool and humid morning, and it's drizzling." That is a fantastic, descriptive sentence. But how do you talk about the weather yesterday? Or the weather tomorrow? This is where we learn about the weather forecast. And that is our next topic. You have learned an incredible number of words and phrases to describe the weather in great detail. So far, everything has been about the weather happening right now, in the present moment. But conversations are not just about the present. We talk about the past and the future. Let's learn how to do that with the weather. First, let's talk about the past. The key is very simple. You just need to change 2 letters. Instead of saying "it is," you say "it was." Was. Was. It was. Let's look at some examples. If today it is sunny, but yesterday it was not, you would say, "It was cloudy yesterday." If today it is cold, but yesterday was different, you might say, "It was warm yesterday." The question also changes slightly. Instead of "What is the weather like?" you ask, "What was the weather like yesterday?" Let's practice. I ask you, "What was the weather like last night?" Maybe it was raining. You would answer, "It was rainy." Maybe it was cold and windy. You would answer, "It was cold and windy." See? The only thing that changes is to was. All the amazing descriptive words you have learned, sunny, cloudy, hot, cold, humid, foggy, they all stay the same. Now, for the future. This is what you use when you talk about the weather forecast. The most common and natural way to talk about the future weather is to say, it's going to be. Let's break that down. It's going to be. So, if you look at the weather forecast on your phone for tomorrow, what do you see? Maybe it shows a sun. You can say, it's going to be sunny tomorrow. Maybe it shows a high temperature. You can say, it's going to be hot tomorrow. Maybe it shows clouds and rain. You can say, it's going to be cloudy and rainy tomorrow. The question for the future is, what's the weather forecast? Or you can be more specific, what's the forecast for tomorrow, or what's the forecast for the weekend? Let's try a practice conversation. Your friend asks you, what's the forecast for tomorrow? You look at your phone and say, it's going to be warm and partly cloudy in the morning, but it's going to be rainy in the afternoon. Look at that sentence. You are using future tense, temperature words, and descriptive sky words all together. That is brilliant. Here is another very common phrase you will hear in a forecast, a chance of rain. For example, tomorrow there is a 50% chance of rain. This just means it might rain. It's possible. So if a friend asks, you can say, it's going to be warm, with a chance of rain in the afternoon. Let's do a final, quick review of the tenses. To talk about now, it is sunny. To talk about the past, it was sunny. To talk about the future, it's going to be sunny. You can now describe the weather today, yesterday, and tomorrow. You can understand and talk about a weather forecast. But how do you turn this into a real, back-and-forth conversation? How do you ask someone what they think about the weather and share your own feelings? That is the next level, and it's what we will cover next. You are now a weather expert. You can describe the present, the past, and the future. But language is not just about stating facts. It's about connection, sharing feelings, and creating a dialogue. So, let's learn how to turn your weather knowledge into a real conversation. First, let's talk about your opinion. Do you like the weather today? Do you hate it? Here are some simple phrases to express your feelings. For whether you enjoy, you can say I like, or I love. For example, I like rainy days. I think they are cozy. I love this cool weather. It's perfect for walking. For whether you do not enjoy, you can say I don't like, or I hate. For example, I don't like it when it's very hot and humid. I hate driving in foggy weather. Now, here is a very useful, very natural phrase, I don't mind. This means the weather is not your favorite, but it's okay. It doesn't bother you. For example, I don't mind the rain, but I prefer the sun. Many people don't like the snow, but I don't mind it. Another way to share your opinion is by using descriptive adjectives about the day itself. Instead of just saying it's sunny, you can say, it's a beautiful day today. It's a lovely day for a picnic. What nice weather we're having. For bad weather, you can use words like awful, terrible, or miserable. The weather is awful today. It's cold and rainy. It's a miserable day. I don't want to go outside. Now, how do you ask someone else for their opinion? The easiest way is to state your opinion, and then ask, how about you? I love snowy days. How about you? You can also ask a direct question. Do you like this weather? Are you enjoying this beautiful day? Finally, here is a pro tip to sound very natural. We use something called tag questions. This is a short question we add to the end of a statement to invite the other person to agree with us. The most common one is, isn't it? You take a positive statement and you add, isn't it, at the end. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? It's warm today, isn't it? This is a very friendly and gentle way to start a conversation. The other person will almost always agree. Yes, it's lovely. Let's imagine a short conversation. It's a lovely day, isn't it? Your friend, yes, it's beautiful. I love it when it's warm and sunny. Me too. I don't like the cold. Your friend, oh, I don't mind the cold, but I hate the rain. Look at that. You just had a complete, natural conversation about the weather. You can now start a conversation, describe the weather, and share opinions. How does this weather affect our daily lives? What should you wear? What can you do? Let's connect the weather to our actions and our clothes. That's coming up next. Knowing the weather is one thing. Knowing what to do because of the weather is a practical, real-life skill. This is where your English becomes a useful tool for making plans. Let's connect the weather to our clothes and our activities. Let's start with a hot and sunny day. What should you wear? You should wear light clothes. For example, a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals. It's also a very good idea to wear a hat and sunglasses to protect you from the sun. What can you do? A hot, sunny day is perfect for outdoor activities. You can say, it's a perfect day to go to the beach, or let's have a picnic in the park. Now, let's think about a cool, perhaps partly cloudy day. What should you wear? It's not hot, but it's not cold. You might need a light jacket or a sweater over your shirt. It's probably a good idea to wear long pants instead of shorts. What can you do? This weather is often the best for activities that require energy. It's great weather for a long walk, to go hiking in the mountains, or to ride your bike. What about a cold and windy day? What should you wear? Here, you need to stay warm. You should definitely wear a heavy coat, a scarf, gloves, and a warm hat. There is a great English expression for this, bundle up. It means to wear many layers of warm clothes. So, you can say, make sure you bundle up before you go outside. What can you do? Many people prefer to stay inside. It's a good day to stay home, read a book, or watch a movie. Finally, what about a rainy day? What should you wear? The most important thing is to stay dry. You will need an umbrella and a raincoat. It's also smart to wear waterproof boots. What can you do? Rainy days are perfect for indoor activities. Let's go to a museum today, since it's raining. Or, we could go to the cinema or just stay home and relax. Now you can give advice and make plans based on the weather. You can have a conversation like this, your friend, what's the forecast for Saturday? It's going to be sunny and warm. Your friend, oh, great. What should we do? It's a perfect day for a picnic. We can go to the park. You are using your English to plan your life. That is the goal. You are now ready to talk about the weather in almost any situation. You know what to say, what to wear, and what to do. But did you know that in English, we also use weather words to talk about feelings and situations that have nothing to do with the actual weather? We have many sayings and idioms that are a key part of sounding fluent. Let's explore the secret, figurative language of weather next. Idioms are phrases where the meaning is not what it seems. English is filled with idioms that use the language of weather to talk about feelings and situations. Learning a few will make your English sound much more natural. Let's start with a happy one, to be on cloud nine. Imagine a beautiful, fluffy white cloud, high in the sky. To be on cloud nine means to be extremely happy, joyful, and euphoric. It has nothing to do with real clouds. For example, when he passed his exam, he was on cloud nine for the rest of the day. Here is one you will hear very often, to be under the weather. This does not mean you are standing under a rain cloud. To be under the weather means you feel sick. Not very sick, just a little bit unwell. It's the perfect phrase to use when you have a small cold or a headache. For example, I'm going to stay home from work today. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Next, an idiom about problems, a storm in a teacup. Imagine a big, violent storm happening inside a tiny cup of tea. It's a funny image, right? This idiom means that people are creating a lot of anger and worry about a problem that is actually very small and unimportant. In American English, you might hear a tempest in a teapot, which means the same thing. For example, my two brothers are arguing about who gets the last piece of cake. It's just a storm in a teacup. Here is a very optimistic and wise idiom: every cloud has a silver lining. Imagine a dark rain cloud in the sky. The silver lining is the bright edge you see when the sun is behind it. This idiom means that in every bad or difficult situation, there is something good or hopeful to be found. For example, I was sad when the concert was cancelled, but now I can go visit my friend instead. Every cloud has a silver lining. Let's do one about money, to save for a rainy day. This means to save money for a time in the future when you might have an unexpected problem or need. The rainy day is a metaphor for a time of trouble. For example, it's a good idea to put some of your salary in a savings account to save for a rainy day. Finally, a very famous one: it's raining cats and dogs. This simply means it is raining very, very heavily. It's a very old and slightly silly idiom, and you might not hear people say it seriously very often. It's more common to say it's pouring or there's a downpour. But it's a fun one to know. These idioms will make your English sound much more colorful. Now, let's zoom out from the daily weather. How do we talk about the big picture, the seasons of the year? Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Each has its own weather and vocabulary, and that is what we will master next. You are absolutely right. My apologies. I will be more careful to avoid any welcome or introductory phrases. Thank you for the correction. Here is the next part of the script. We have explored daily weather and even figurative language. Now, we will zoom out to discuss the bigger picture, the 4 seasons. Talking about the seasons is a very common part of small talk, and each one has its own unique weather and vocabulary. The first season is spring. In the Northern Hemisphere, this is March, April, and May. After a long, cold winter, the weather in spring starts to get warmer. The snow melts, and we often see a lot of rain, with frequent showers. The most important thing about spring is new life. The flowers start to bloom, the trees grow new green leaves, and you can hear the birds singing again. You could say, I love spring because everything feels fresh and new. After spring comes summer. This is June, July, and August, and it is the hottest time of the year. The days are very long, and the nights are short. The weather is often sunny and can be very hot and humid. In many places, summer is also the time for thunderstorms. People often go on vacation in the summer. It's the season for going to the beach, having a barbecue with friends, and going for a swim to cool off. Next is autumn, which is September, October, and November. In North America, this season is also very commonly called fall. It's called fall because this is when the leaves fall from the trees. In autumn, the weather gets cooler and the days start to get shorter. It can be quite windy and rainy. The most beautiful part of autumn is watching the leaves change color to bright reds, oranges, and yellows. You might say, autumn is my favorite season because the colors are so beautiful. Finally, we have winter. This is December, January, and February. It is the coldest season of the year. The days are short, and the nights are long. The weather is often cold, icy, and snowy. The temperature can be freezing. Winter is the time for activities like skiing or ice skating. It's also the season when many people celebrate holidays with their families. You could say, I like winter, but you have to remember to bundle up to stay warm. Understanding the seasons gives you a new, broader context for your weather conversations. You can now talk about your favorite time of year and why. We have covered an enormous amount of information, from single words to full conversations and idioms. In the next section, we will put it all together. We will see a complete, natural conversation about the weather to see all of these skills in action. We have learned all the essential building blocks, from single words to idioms and seasons. The best way to see how they work together is to see them in a natural conversation. Let's read and analyze a dialogue between two friends, Ben and Chloe. They are meeting at a coffee shop on a Saturday morning in autumn. Here is the conversation. Ben, hi Chloe. Wow, a bit chilly today, isn't it? Chloe, hey Ben. It is. I had to wear my heavy coat. I don't mind it, though. It feels like autumn. Ben, true. It was so windy this morning. The forecast said there's a chance of showers this afternoon, too. Chloe, oh really? I was hoping to go for a walk later. I guess it's a perfect day for staying inside with a book. Ben, exactly what I was thinking. Last weekend was so beautiful and sunny, I went for a hike. Chloe, I know, it was a lovely day. I was supposed to go hiking today with my friend Mark, but he canceled. Ben, oh no, why? Chloe, he said he's feeling a bit under the weather. Ben, that's a shame. Well, I hope he feels better soon. Chloe, me too. So, do you like this cooler weather? Ben, I do. Summer is too hot for me. I love autumn. Now, let's break that down to see the skills they used. Ben starts with, a bit chilly today, isn't it? He uses chilly, a great synonym for cool or cold. He also uses a tag question, isn't it, which is a friendly way to start a conversation and invite agreement. Chloe responds, I don't mind it, though. She is expressing her opinion, using the phrase we learned for saying something is okay with you. She connects the feeling to the season by saying, it feels like autumn. Ben talks about the past, it was so windy this morning, and the future, the forecast said there's a chance of showers. He uses specific, descriptive words. Chloe connects the weather to her plans. Because of the chance of rain, she changes her plan from going for a walk to staying inside. This is a perfect example of using weather in a practical way. Ben then compares today with the past. Last weekend was so beautiful and sunny. This is a very common thing to do in conversation, comparing different days. Chloe uses the idiom we learned, he's feeling a bit under the weather. She is not talking about rain, she is saying her friend feels sick. This makes her English sound very natural. Finally, they share their personal preferences. Chloe asks, do you like this cooler weather? And Ben answers, I do. Summer is too hot for me. I love autumn. By analyzing this conversation, you can see how all the pieces fit together. You have all these tools. The final step is to start using them. In our next section, we will talk about the best ways for you to practice everything you have learned and give you some final confidence-boosting tips. You now have all the knowledge you need, and you have seen how it works in a real conversation. The final, most important step is to practice. Practice is what builds confidence and makes the language a part of you. Here are 4 simple and effective ways to practice your new weather English every day. First, be the weather reporter. Every morning, your first task is to look out the window or check the weather app on your phone. Then, stand up and describe the weather out loud, as if you are on television. For example, good morning from New York. It was a cool and clear night. Right now, it's sunny but a little chilly. The forecast for today is warm and sunny, with a high of 22 degrees Celsius. It's going to be a beautiful day. This simple exercise forces you to use the past, present, and future tenses, and all your new vocabulary. Second, keep a weather diary. This is a very simple writing exercise. Every evening before you go to sleep, write 1 or 2 sentences in a notebook about the day's weather. For example, Monday, it was cloudy and windy all day. I'm glad I brought my jacket. Tuesday, we had a thunderstorm this afternoon. It was very rainy for about an hour. Wednesday, it was a perfect autumn day. Cool, sunny, and beautiful. This will help you master the past tense and remember all the descriptive words you've learned. Third, start with a text message. If you are nervous about speaking, begin with writing. Send a simple text message about the weather to an English-speaking friend or a language exchange partner. You can say something like, "Wow, it's really windy out there," or "Are you enjoying this lovely weather?" or "The forecast says it's going to be cold tomorrow." This is a low-pressure way to start using your English in real conversations. Fourth, and finally, use the 3-second rule. This is a tip for building confidence. When you are in a situation where you could start a conversation about the weather, in an elevator, in a line at a shop, at the bus stop, don't hesitate. Give yourself 3 seconds, and just say the first thing that comes to your mind. "It's a bit hot today, isn't it?" or "Looks like it's going to rain." Don't worry about saying the perfect thing. The weather is the world's safest topic. Just starting the conversation is a victory. These practice techniques will help move the language from your head to your mouth. The more you use it, the more natural it will become. We have reached the end of our journey together. In our final section, we will do a quick review of the most important skills you learned and leave you with a final message of encouragement. We have covered a huge amount of ground together. Before we finish, let's quickly summarize the 5 key skill levels you have mastered on your journey to becoming a weather conversation expert. First, you mastered level 1, the basics. You learned the most important question, what's the weather like, and how to answer with its, plus one of the 5 foundational words, sunny, cloudy, rainy, windy, or snowy. This was your entry into the conversation. Second, you moved to level 2, adding detail. You learned how to make your descriptions more precise with modifiers like very, a little, and the crucial phrase partly cloudy. You also learned to describe how the weather feels with the temperature scale, hot, warm, cool, and cold. Third, you conquered level 3, time and tense. You broke free from the present moment. You learned to talk about the past using it was, and the future using it's going to be. This allowed you to understand and discuss the weather forecast, a vital real-world skill. Fourth, you reached level 4, having a real conversation. This is where you learn to connect with people. You learn to share your opinions with I like or I don't mind, ask for others' opinions with how about you, and use natural conversational tools like tag questions to sound friendly and engaging. And finally, you achieved level 5, sounding natural. You connected weather to daily life by talking about clothes and activities. You learned common English idioms like being under the weather or saving for a rainy day. And you learned to talk about the big picture with the 4 seasons. You have come so far, from a single word like sunny to a full, nuanced conversation. Remember that first, strange idea? That the most boring topic in the world is the key to your fluency? I hope you now see that it's true. The weather is your key. It is a gift for language learners. It is a safe, easy, and always available topic to start a conversation with anyone. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is a step forward. The goal is not perfection, the goal is communication. The next time you are standing next to someone, whether a friend or a stranger, look at the sky. You know what to say. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. Now, all you need is to take a breath and begin. You can do this.